Hey, our partners at the Boston Business Journal have put together quite a list. It's the top 10 most expensive colleges in Massachusetts for the academic school year. Here to talk about it, the woman who created the list, Maya Shavit. Maya, thank you so much. All right, so this is quite a list. Where do you begin?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. What we did here at the BBJ is we looked at every school in the state and all the money that sort of goes into purchasing an academic experience at that school. And we found the top expensive ones when it came to tuition and living expenses. And we used the university's own data and then publicly available resources to sort of look at what schools came in at the top.
All right, so you're cross-referencing here and using, like you said, the schools themselves. So this is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can find out how much it costs to go tuition wise, like to any of these schools pretty easily. I mean, we all
Yeah.
understand the process, so look around a little bit.
All right. So for people who don't have the benefit of the list immediately in front of them, top five.
So Wellesley comes in at number one. It's over $100,000 for the sticker price for Wellesley. And then shortly underneath that is Amherst College, Smith College, Boston College are sort of right under there. And then Tufts University sort of falls in, sort of marking out that top five. But what's important to sort of understand is these are the sticker prices. These are like the most full package combinations of the tuition, but not everyone actually ends up paying that. That's just sort of the top line for most students to sort of understand the different ways to get involved in that academic experience.
Yeah. So Wellesley, you said just scraped past six figures per year.
Yes,
And then
yeah.
the others are all in the 90s that you mentioned, correct?
Yeah, and that's like just under the 100K mark. So all of our top 10 actually exceeded that 90K mark. And a few of the schools you might think would have made it into there didn't necessarily, but still are well above 85K.
Yeah. Harvard and MIT slipped out of the top 10, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
They're
Harvard and
bargains.
yeah, exactly. So the estimated costs of Harvard and MIT, according to our research, exceeds 85K. But something interesting the last year that's been happening with their tuition and pricing is that both schools have also announced plans for free tuition for families earning less than 200K a year, effective in this fall semester.
Yeah, and I believe Tufts just announced that for families under 150K starting in the next academic year, 2026.
Yeah. In the last 24 hours, Tufts have made that same amount of sort of this step towards, further tuition breaks for students.
So Maya, am I just old, or do people across generations have their breath snatched away when looking at the cost of college?
I think that everyone thinks that college is expensive, regardless of where you're coming from, your age range, that type of thing. And parents have been long saving for this idea of a child's college experience for many years. And these big numbers can be incredibly intimidating. But kind of what I was saying before, families are not necessarily paying that sticker price every single time. Financial
Yeah.
aid, other discounting factors are important and they're very impactful here. So Amherst College, for example, which is in that top five that I mentioned, they say that their financial aid plan meet 100% of their student need, and 80% of the students in 2024 had no student loan debt. If you talk about most of the schools that are in that top five, majority of them have pretty significant financial aid packages and other ways to sort of get around that large number, which can feel really scary and can look extremely intimidating, but there's more to it than just the sticker price.
Yeah. For people who are, let's just say Gen Xers and above, who went to college, 30, 35 years ago and are now kind of re-entering the fray with college-aged kids. When they look at the price of tuition and say, how could it cost so much? Your answer is,
My answer is there's more to it than the number on the tuition page that's listed on the website. It's more complicated than that, and everyone's individual financial circumstances should be taken into account when they're looking for the best college experience for their child or themselves.
yeah. Do
Yeah.
you feel like, and you may not have the data to back this up, but I'll just throw the question at you anyway. Do you feel like the cost of some of these really prestigious schools and private schools are pushing students either A, to state universities, which are historically more affordable, or B, out of New England to bigger box states that have larger schools that can kind of suppress their cost of attendance?
So I do think that there have been a number of movements across, now private institutions and public institutions to make tuition more affordable, give free tuition to more people. And enrollment's not necessarily slowing down at these large schools. Students are still attending. I don't
Yeah.
know necessarily if it's a one-to-one ratio when it comes to people attending schools. There's a number of different factors that someone would choose to attend a university when it comes to location, and other things that are related to where they're going to spend the next 4 years of their life and get that large academic heading on their bio.
Yeah. And the big question, is it worth it? Is it still worth it?
I mean, I think it's up to every single person to decide that for themselves. I think there's a number of reasons that people have shown that college degrees continue to be important, and there's a reason why people are paying in some ways for this education still, but it's a lot more complicated than just a page, and there's a lot of factors that go into choosing the right school for you.
Yeah. It is interesting to see these colleges leverage certain financial mechanisms to make themselves more accessible to more students.
Mm.
Um, my hope is that there aren't, middle class students who are getting caught in the wash. You have the data and you see that these schools are kind of touting their accessibility. Do the numbers jive with the enrollment and the amount of money that these schools are able to give?
So purely for this list, we're looking just at
Yeah,
this price, which is increasing every single year. There's no denying the fact that Wellesley has gotten more and more expensive. If you look at the past 10 years of reporting that we've done, if you look at the data there. But you can look at other pieces of information that show that enrollment's not slowing down at these prestigious schools.
yeah,
Put that together, it does kind of show that there's still a big draw for this type of elite education.
yeah. I went to Boston College. I graduated in the 90s, and my per year tuition and other costs were just north of $30,000 per year. And at the time, my parents, they could not fathom. It was like they couldn't fathom how much it cost and what they had to do to make it affordable for me to go there, and the burden I took out, right, of student loans, applying for countless scholarships. It really does take a village to kind of cobble together everything that you need to get through it. And yet, as you said, attendance rates and application rates aren't slowing down. This is incredible.
Yeah, I think that that just shows the story that it's always been the case where college is something that can be seen as quite difficult to achieve and even harder to financially plan for. So I think just looking through all of the options still is the best way to go about it. And it's been like that for as long as higher education has been prioritized here in Massachusetts.
Yeah. I love, by the way, how calm you are. Because even the discussion itself is enough to make me just, like I said, lose my breath a little bit. I
I
mean,
mean, those are pretty staggering numbers, and it's pretty insane to think about a single human being being able to pony up that amount. But these are numbers that are continuing to climb every single year, and it's a trend that we're seeing across the state of Massachusetts that education is extremely expensive, but again, it's a multi-layered thing, and the sticker price is not necessarily what it truly is when it comes to how families are getting to the amount of education that they need and the price of adjusting it. And it does seem like colleges are kind of starting to take a hint with some of these measures that Tufts and other schools are doing.
yeah, that's a great point you bring up. And you know what? That's a good last point as well. Maya, thank you so much for joining us to break this down and offer that calm that I think a lot of parents need and deserve as they're looking over this list for their students. Maya Shavit, Boston Business Journal, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.